Vin Diesel and Paul Walker return in Furious 7. How does this one stack up against the rest of the series? Let's talk about it. So Jason Statham is seriously pissed off at what happened to his brother in the last movie, and so in Die Hard with a Vengeance fashion, he wants revenge. Look guys, if you go to one of these Fast and Furious movies, you know what you're getting yourself into. They play it safe with every entry for the most part because they know who their core audience is. So when you go into one of these movies, you want to put your popcorn on your lap, you want to take your brain out of your head, and you want to put it on the floor. If you do that, then everything else will be cream cheese. I actually had a really good time with Furious 7, but it definitely has its problems. First, I'll start off with the good. Furious 7 is entertaining all the way through, from start to finish. There weren't any dry spots in the story whatsoever. It's like they have all these big action set pieces and they meticulously space them out through the movies. So you got 10 minutes, we got to have an action set piece. Another 20 minutes, we got to have another action set piece, and so on. And that is the pacing of the movie for roughly 2 hours. They also brought in some new blood in this entry. Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken himself. I'm a huge fan of Escape from New York. I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan, so I was really happy to see him. And he didn't disappoint. He actually had a few scenes where they really let him shine. And I was happy to see that. I always kind of wish that Kurt Russell would have done one of the Expendables movies, but those movies aren't as good as I wanted them to be, so maybe it's a good thing he didn't do them. Also, The Rock is really good in this. He's not in it that much. He pretty much bookends the movie, but the scenes that he is in, he steals the show. He kicks ass. He even has a minigun a la Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator. And lastly, I gotta mention Paul Walker. Rest in peace. They handled Paul Walker's situation very effectively, I thought. Throughout the movie, I kind of had my suspicions on what they were going to do with him in the end, and the way they handled it without spoiling anything was really classy. I mean, really classy. And I'm gonna say, I came this close to choking up. I came this close to having tears pour out of my eyes. I mean, it was really sad. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's not giving anything away, I promise. Because when you watch a movie where one of the main characters dies during the making of it, such as The Crow with Brandon Lee, there's always that little thing that kind of sits in the back of your mind, like, okay, what are they gonna do? Is this scene going to be him, or is it going to be CGI? And you know, it's kind of a tough situation to deal with because it can take you out of the movie. And there are a lot of the scenes with Paul Walker that I was kind of on edge, like, ooh, is this going to be the scene if the scene happens? And thank God for that end scene with Paul Walker, because if not for that scene, this movie would have been pretty bad. First of all, suspension of disbelief. I know you're going into these movies and you know exactly what you're getting. But they really pushed the envelope with this one. There are actually 2 car crashes in this one where a character gets out of the car after the crash and just walks away. And I'm not talking like a car crash on a main highway or anything. I'm talking about a car going off a cliff. And it's so preposterous that everybody starts laughing. You know, but for some reason, Fast and Furious gets away with it. They're one of the few franchises where suspension of disbelief is just, they're giving carte blanche. Also, the acting is kind of touch and go with this movie. It's not bad, but there are a few scenes that are pretty shaky, especially the scenes with Ronda Rousey, who was in Expendables 3. She's not a good actress. Hell of an MMA fighter, but I guess her fighting skills do play a part in any movie that she plays in. Obviously, because she was in Expendables 3 in this. But the less she talks, the better. And finally, there's very little depth in this last one. It's not even my favorite of the Fast and Furious movies. I would say probably Fast 5, maybe even Fast 6 were a lot better than this one. It does have some really good action set pieces, I will give it that, like the previous entries. But overall, I don't think it's a movie that I'll watch again. So I'm going to give it a humdrum. So guys, basically what I'm saying is if you go out and you want to have a fun, kick-ass, entertaining movie with no thought put into it whatsoever, I think you'll have a good time with Furious 7. So guys, thanks for watching my reviews. Subscribe to my channel if you like what I'm doing, and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Let me know what you guys thought of Furious 7. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and Humdrum out.